Oh, hello there, humans. I'm Dr. Forsock, and you are now watching Asockalypse Now Launch Party. I bet you're wondering, what is Asockalypse Now, and why am I watching this? I see you are all very astute. I bet the teachers all gave you lots of gold stars in grade school. Maybe you can handle the chemistry in this lab with zero education. I mean, you are so brilliant. I actually quit. Okay. See that? That was called sarcasm. If you don't get it, maybe this show isn't for you. Anyways, I'm here today to introduce you to the Asockalypse Now universe, and some of the characters and stories you will see here in the future. At Asockalypse Now, we cover news and current events at our news network, Sock News Network, now known as Asockalypse Now News Network. Our journalists are not afraid to be in the boots, on the ground, around the world. So today, we kick things off with a bit of a throwback as our reporter TJ Cotton officiates an actual congressional hearing held in 2023. The first of its kind. See what happens when congressmen and constituents consent to fisticuffs right on the Senate floor. Who will feel the burn of defeat first? We hope you will enjoy this showdown. It's the Fat Man versus the Stat Man, live on SNN.
Welcome. What? It's the wrong music, dude. This is the Senate hearing. We're live. Fix it. Alright, take two. Welcome to our coverage of the United States Senate hearing with union representatives from the airline industry, logistics, the service industry, and many more addressing senators and Congress on improving working conditions and pay for workers and union employees across our great nation. This is also the wrong music. We've been over the cues, man. Are you high again? We agreed no more edibles before the broadcast, dude. Get it together. There you go. Alright, take three. Welcome to our coverage of the United States Senate hearing with union representatives to address corporate greed and discuss how unions are improving the lives of working families. I'm Chairperson TJ Cotton, and I'll be officiating, presiding, and commentating this exciting event today, featuring our favorite pre-senile former presidential hopeful and origin of the burn from when you pee, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Today's broadcast brought to you by the Ultimate Mutilation Championships, with a big event coming up this Saturday featuring wrestler La Madrugada facing off against an angry wood chipper that goes by the name of John Deere. Don't miss it. And Shaft Kings, where you can lose your family's livelihood betting on the fate of random chronically concussed men and women who may or may not be on steroids or a litany of other PEDs to defeat their opposition based on an arbitrary set of data and past outcomes. Get shafted today with Shaft Kings. And last but not least, our last sponsor, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, aka the ATF, where they specialize in supplying all your party needs. ATF, everything you need for a good time. The party starters. And speaking of starting, we are getting in the final preparations here, and we will soon go to the floor for this part 2 of the Senate hearing. We'll start with Mr. O'Brien, who will talk about the recent shutdown of the Everlast battery plant in Wisconsin, which left over 600 migrant workers unemployed. Now, of course, before we get started, as this is a hearing of the U.S. Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, we expect these government representatives of the people to conduct themselves with an absolute professionalism expected of U.S. officials in such positions. And in this meeting, we intend to stick to the issue at hand. Open discussion of corporate greed and how it affected the American workers, specifically those considered union workers. All right, let's start with you, Mr. O'Brien. Now that the plant is not operating, what is the future of the 600-plus jobs from the Everlast battery plant?
Our first combatant entering the senatorial fray is Mr. Sean O'Brien, the head of one of the nation's largest and most influential unions and owner of one of the nation's largest heads. In addition to an affinity for ice cream, Mr. O'Brien enjoys cheese of all kinds and finding new combinations of liquids to create oil and wax to make his bald head shinier with style. His latest concoction is a mix of turtle wax and whale semen, and while proven very effective, Mr. O'Brien is currently under investigation for how he acquired the mammal's rare reproductive fluids. He is a southpaw known for his nasty right hook and his red velvet cake recipe, and he hates clowns, especially when they become U.S. senators.
Those jobs are gone. They're not coming back. And right now you have 600 people that have had long-term careers there who've raised families, put kids through college, and we're depending upon retiring out of there. They're working under a severance agreement, so those jobs are gone.
I see. That's unfortunate. A lot of lost jobs there. So in your honest opinion, how do we fix this administratively to prevent mass layoffs and plant shutdowns in the future?
And I think to sum it up quickly, we need more oversight over these mergers to make sure that, first off, we keep these jobs in America, but more importantly, we've got to mitigate any type of damages or tax on these workers for their ability to join a union as well. I mean, they're going to go to North Carolina, which is right to work, and it's proven that the median average wage in right to work states are far less than the non-right to work states. So we've got to have more oversight on these mergers and acquisitions.
Interesting point, Mr. O'Brien. I'm sure most of us can see the case for better oversight when it comes to corporate mergers and acquisitions. Thank you for that, Mr. O'Brien. Senator Mullen, would you like to speak on this issue? Go ahead. The floor is yours.
In addition to having a first name that is two first names mushed into one, Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen is also a former professional MMA fighter and amateur gardener. Known as a hothead, his temper has gotten him into trouble in the past. However, he reassured the people of Oklahoma he has turned over a new leaf from the life of brutality he once led. One of his pride and joys is his extensive toenail collection and necklace made of the ears of his fallen enemies. His favorite pastime is, quote, being struck about the head with large blunt objects, stating that is what made him into such a headstrong leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to get a little factual on what Mr. O'Brien just said about right-to-work states versus forced work states. According to the compensation data report of the U.S. Commerce Department, an average salary for private sector employee in 2019 was $4,000 higher than the average employee in forced union states, stating that right-to-work states pay more. Now, if we also want to break this down to statistics, which was quoted earlier by Mr. O'Brien, about wage differences, if you talk to the Bureau of Labor Statistics in non-union jobs, their average salaries raised 14.6% compared to 11% wage increase on unionized workers from 2020 to 2023. If you go back to the percentage of union workers, because if unions was working so well, then you'd see an increase in union jobs, not a decrease.
Oh, no, he didn't. Shots fired. He said if unions worked, like he was implying they don't. Sick burn, Senator, sick burn. Please continue. You were saying? Statistics?
50 years ago, 33% of our labor force was union. Today, it's 10.1%. If you go back and you start looking at wage earned, if you actually compare comparable wages to ages, not a partisan point, but you go to all wages earned, not just comparing 16 and over to 54 to 64-year-old ages.
Wait. Stop. Hold the phone. Are you telling me this shyster O'Brien over here is focused on comparing 16 and older workers to 54 to 64-year-old workers? Those ages are nowhere near each other. What kind of moron would focus on just those age ranges? None of those people matter. Sorry, just such dangerous stupidity gets my sock panties all bunched up. Please, Senator, you were saying?
You'll see that the actual average, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that if you subtract the union dues, it's actually higher. Non-union employees are getting paid by roughly 1 to 2%, which is exactly what union dues are, is 1 to 2% of their salary.
Oh, snap, for real? You heard that, O'Brien? He said people not in unions make more money than people in unions by the amount of the percentage of union dues they pay. If they didn't pay those fees, they would have the amount of the fee now as more money. Booyakasha, boy! My apologies. Go on, Senator.
So I just wanted to set the record straight on that, and that's coming from statistics, all right? Now, let's talk about Mr. O'Brien himself, his behavior. As everybody knows, and it's here in the last time, him and I kind of had a back and forth. Appreciate your demeanor today. It's quite different.
Back and forth? Well, this seems like quite a heated debate so far. I mean, you're going scorched earth on this clown with those statistics, Playboy. I mean, 1 to 2%? Nice work. What back and forth are you referring to from last time with Mr. O'Brien? Remember, we're keeping to the subject at hand. No personal attacks. This is the U.S. Senate after all. Continue, please, Senator Mullen.
But after you left here, you got pretty excited about the keyboard. In fact, you tweeted at me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Oh, dang, 5 tweets? Was he blowing up your Twitch stream? Sharing ID recipes? What was the tea?
So let me read what the last one said. It said, greedy CEO who pretends like he's self-made. Sir, I wish he was in the truck with me when I was building my plumbing company. Myself and my wife was running the office because I sure remember working pretty hard and long hours.
I got one word. Bars.
Pretends like he's self-made. What a clown. Fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy.
Okay, that's a bit abrasive. Let's talk about it. Senator Mullen, how did his words make you feel? Remember to use I feel rather than you did statements. My therapist swears by that technique. Got me off the couch last week. Go ahead.
Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
Yeah, everybody, finish it here. Let bygones be bygones. You know, Senator, that's really big of you. You also, Mr. O'Brien. Senator, forgiveness really is for you and not for those asking for it. Looks like it's your emotional maturity that is off the charts. Kudos to you, sir.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
No need for butts and standing. Let's make butts sit. It's what they're made for.
Is that your solution, everybody?
No, sit down. Sit down. You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond?
Hold it. If we can't, no,
This is
I have the
what he
mic.
said.
I'm sorry.
This is
Hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your time.
Bernie may be as old as Senator Baldwin. But he has a point. Sit down, Senator Mr. O'Brien. What are you going to do? Run the fade on the floors of the Senate building? I'm a talking sock. I don't even have a brain, and I'm not even that dumb. Senator, I'm especially disappointed with you. I mean, you had him on the ropes with all those ill stats. Why do you want to throw it away with some fisticuffs? That's how they win.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't. This is a hearing. And God knows the American people have enough of contempt for Congress. Let's not
I don't
make
like
it worse.
thugs and
You-
bullies.
You have,
And that's
you
what-
have
I don't
the
like
mic.
you, because you
Hold
just
it.
described yourself.
Hold it. You have the mic.
Yeah.
You have time.
All right.
Make your statement.
Then let's do this, because I did challenge you, and I accepted your challenge, and you went quiet.
No, I didn't go quiet.
Hold on.
You challenged me to a cage match,
No,
acting like a
sir.
12-year-old schoolyard
Hold it.
bully.
Excuse
Sir,
me.
hold on.
Hold it.
Listen, guys, this is ridiculous. You are a U.S. Senator. Why are you trying to set up a fight with one of your constituents? And you, Mr. O'Brien, I know you look like a swollen dime store Dana White, but why are you trying to organize a cage match in a Senate hearing? Are you so brain damaged that you see an octagon in here? Cut it out before you send the burn into cardiac arrest.
Wow. Sometimes life truly is stranger than fiction. Hope those two were able to work it out. As we all know, the country's problems have only compounded since this point. By at least 20%, year over year. I kid. Next, we dive into another segment, focused on stories of socks living alongside humans, and the trials and tribulations of life in and out of the sock drawer. Sick Sock World. Today we present part 1 and 2 of the storyline, The Void, in which a young sock is introduced to the hectic existence of life as a sock, when he is tossed into an ancient land of peril and must rely on the denizens of this underground society for survival. And he seeks escape from this ominous dark domain to return back to the sock drawer, which he calls home. Socks. For the better part of a century, they have kept our feet fresh, added accents to our style, kept us cozy, and kept our shoes from smelling like sweaty feet. In the current multiverse, some socks have come alive, formed communities, kept secret from their human hosts and counterparts. They exist in tight-knit, closed-lipped civilizations separated in cities or closets. The socks have built a great life for themselves, enjoying their time not covering their humans' feet in a thriving society built right here in Billy's room. But of course, as with all living things on this earth, there's always dangers and perils that inevitably befall those of us misfortunate enough to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. As humans, just about everyone can remember looking for their favorite pair of socks and found one of the socks missing. For some of us, that memory might not be so distant. Where did they go? You searched the laundry room, checked the whole route there, to and fro, yet no sock. They can't just disappear into thin air, right? This story is one of many that will reveal to you the shrouded hidden world inhabited by the random missing intimates, gloves, beanies, headbands, and of course socks, separated from their closet and cast into the dark nether regions, some never to be seen again. Our story begins with Bobby, a young sock who on one fateful laundry day is separated from the other socks in his closet and his match and brother, Jimmy. Bobby, having been through many laundry days, was used to the disorienting experience of the wash. But this day, where Bobby was usually tossed into a packed washing machine, this time, as his humans were playing a silly game, Bobby was in a group of clothes being tossed in half-heartedly by his distracted human. Where there was previously water, soap, and spinning. Oh, so much spinning. This time, there was only fear. In her haste, the preoccupied human put a bit too much mustard on the toss, and Bobby found himself in a free fall into darkness. Gosh, what was that? Where am I? Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello? Is anybody there?
Lost in the complete darkness of his new surroundings, Bobby began to fear that he was all alone in this mysterious place. Until, in the distance, he could hear something. A faint voice through the abyss.
Hello?
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 Who's there? Is someone there?
Someone who's been here for far too long.
Where am I?
Well, my young boy, I'm afraid you've fallen into the void. This is where socks like us come to disappear. It's the place humans forget about. Sometimes when it's wash time, you get snagged or dropped. Eventually, a human sees you and returns you to the fold, right? But other times, when you're really unlucky, every once in a blue moon, you take a tumble and bam, into the void you go.
But I can't stay here. My match, my brother, Jimmy, he's still out there. He needs me.
That's what we all thought when we got here. Hope fades quick in this place, kid. Don't believe me? Just ask Lester. He was just an innocent but very smelly pair of dirty underwear when he got here. Now, he's an even more faded, dustier pair of dirty underwear. And between me and you, I think someone should put him out of his misery at this point.
I heard that.
Yeah, well, I smelled you. We even now?
Oh my gosh, can't be. Uncle Hank? Uncle Hank? What are you doing down here?
Bobby? Is it really you, kid? Bobby embraced his long-lost Uncle Hank, who was long believed to be dead, donated, or recycled by the rest of the closet after his mysterious disappearance years ago. While Bobby was overjoyed to be reunited with his long-lost uncle, he still found himself looking forward to seeing if he knew anything that could perhaps help them escape this dark wasteland and return to the closet they call home. Frank, your Uncle Frank. He was my match, my other half. But he didn't survive what happened in Billy's room.
Billy? You mean the human?
Yeah, Billy. One day Frank got taken in there while the rest of us were out at the wash cycle. He came back different. He said he saw things no sock should ever see. Together with the rest of the socks from the drawer, we were able to pull together and over time help Frank start to recover from the trauma he faced that day. Slowly but surely, we started to see signs of the old Frank start to peek through the veil of melancholy that seemed to shroud Frank these days, however brief. Until another dark day. Frank again found himself straggling on wash day, and again, Billy grabbed him and closed the door. Much to the dismay of the rest of the closet, they were again trapped in the laundry cycle. We all feared Frank was enduring more trauma as his muffled screams faded in the distance. After the wash this time, Frank was even worse than before. Because of his mysterious stains and overall PTSD and mental health issues, Frank was eventually deemed unfit by the humans and tossed in the black box. The black box is where socks and other clothes go when it's time to pass on to the afterlife. When the human decides the time is right, most every sock will be tossed into the black box, so they can be judged by the great sock. If the great sock determines they've lived a good and fruitful life, the sock will get to spend eternity in sock heaven with all their loved ones lost long before. The tragedy that occurred that day left a dark cloud over the clothes of the closet. Although, in sock lore, we know that Frank is in the great beyond, where we all must go when our day comes. But not all stories end in tragedy. There was one sock who fought back, and his name was Travis the Great. With the story of Travis the Great, He was a stock hero whose actions have afforded him legendary status in the closet, as his leadership and strategy resulted in an operation thought to have saved the rest of the socks in the closet from facing the same fate as Frank. The spark of the operation began as Travis, technically Frank's uncle, saw Frank's condition after being locked in the room with Billy, and out of concern for his nephew and worry about what happened in the room that day happening to other socks, Travis began asking around to see if any other socks saw what took place in that room that day. Most socks didn't see much as it happened on laundry day. But after weeks of asking around, a shy young sock, Molly, came forward, saying she was on the floor in the room that day and witnessed what happened.
So Billy came home from school like he normally does and began playing on his little weird light box there like he does sometimes. Only this time, he started taking off his clothes, touching himself in strange areas. He was captivated by the images on that light box. Then suddenly, something weird happened. He had an 11th toe between his legs. He started massaging it vigorously, and all of a sudden...
Ooh, Molly, it's okay. You can stop there, I got it. And you know what else I got? I think I got a plan. That's right. Pull, socks. Pull. Pull, you're almost there. Almost got it. Yes. Good job, everybody. We did it.
So, Travis, you think this is gonna work?
Of course it'll work. It has to work.
Wow, that's a crazy story, Uncle Hank. If Travis could protect the others, maybe I can find a way out of here.
I admire your spirit, kid. But no one escapes the void.
There has to be a way.
That story was a bit heavy. I can tell that one tensed you up a bit. So now we're gonna lighten things up with a little bit of stretching, both verbal as well as physical, with our staff shaman, Socrates. Have you ever wondered why so many words we use every day also contain bad words within them? If so, good. That is very astute of you. Join us on this journey through language and never think of Winnipeg the same again.
Here's a list of normal words spoken by people of all different ages throughout the United Socks of America, with naughty, racist, drug referencing, and outright perverse other words buried close beneath the surface. Some are present only when spoken aloud, whilst others are bared in the open for all to see their shame. Tonight, these seemingly mundane words, names, and places will be exposed for their nefarious nature hidden within. I invoke the spirit of the visual god Socrates. Use your visuals to help reveal the wickedness cloaked within these commonly used words, so they may witness for themselves what hilarious evil lurks within the confines of our collective societal vocabulary. Abreast. Assassin. Aspen. Brass. Bushel. Boot Montana. Caucasian. Caucus. Coke County, Texas. Cum Ocean. Conspicuous. Cracker Barrel. Crap Penis. Crass. Kumquat. Defecation. Dick Butkus. Dick Vital. Disaster. French Lick, Indiana. Happiness. Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Jackson Hole. Muffin. Nappiness. Negroni. Or Negroni. Nicaragua. Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Russell. Noah Kniga. PP Ohio. Penal Code. Perpendicular. Ridiculous. Sapinus. Schwarzenegger. Scuttlebutt. Succulent. Succubus. The Rapist. Titular. Toadsuck, Arkansas. Vinegar. Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. There are many other words that hide filth as well, and soon we may return to our mystic word purging session with more from Socrates' Mystic Minute. Till next time.
That one always leaves me in a state of happiness. But I digress. The next Asockalypse Now segment is from popular social media platform TikTok. Love. Most of us are looking for it. Some of us are lucky enough to have found it. But if you make a mistake in life and you find yourself in jail, traditionally, this left your dating choices limited, to say the least. For various reasons, people and socks alike may find themselves incarcerated, kept in a cell, often away from contact with the opposite sex for long periods of time. Do they not also deserve love? Only the looming possibility of forced sodomy and assault? Well, you may not have seen the latest craze. People in jail somehow procuring cell phones and making dating profiles. It's really happening. Look it up. To give our viewers a glimpse into this new world of alternative dating, we've collected some of the best dating profile videos, and we're happy to present our viewers with this new TikTok segment. And we're happy to present our viewers with this new TikTok segment, Love on Sockdown. Enjoy.
Our first freedom-impaired bachelor is former gang member turned youth minister with a heart of gold and a yet-to-be-recovered collection of gold stolen from various pawn shops throughout the state, Fozzleton Fuzzy Socktavar. Fuzzy is currently serving 5 years for a second offense for robbing a liquor store with a gun he wrestled from his elderly neighbor after losing to him in a dice game and punching him in the face. His favorite music artist is Sakura.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Fozzie, but my homies call me Fuzzdog because it's cooler. Anyway, I'm into scary movies and romantic comedies, eh? My friends call me a hopeless romantic, but I'm just romantic, eh? ¿Por qué? Because I have hope. I love cars and working on cars. I hope one day I can get a car so I can take you to your AA meetings. When I'm with a lady, I love to make her feel like a queen, and after a solid 20 minutes of love making, I'll take her to a fancy store like Big Lots or Dollar Tree. Put down my EBT card and tell her, get whatever you like, baby. Just make sure it's under $15.75 or I'll get hit with an overdraft fee, and then I'll have to threaten the teller again to remove it or else. Then I end up back in here. You know how that goes. A lot of females are attracted to me because I have swag, but I'm just looking for my soulmate, my twin flame, the right hyena to hold me down till I get out. Then we could take over the world together like Bonnie and Clyde. Only not get arrested this time, eh? Anyway, you should hit me up. I'm inmate number 2345224. Oh, and be sure to leave some money on my books too. I owe my bunkmate like 3 packs of ramen, and they're not gonna buy themselves. I'll pay you back though when I get out with interest, yeah? Wait, maybe make it like 40 just to be safe.
Meet Giosaki Giancarlo, a proud native of Italy and seasoned white-collar criminal. Although he may be a convict and a con man, one thing he is definitely not lacking is confidence. Currently serving a 10-year term for using a Ponzi scheme to fund a pyramid scheme using laundered money that left hundreds of elderly citizens homeless and without a pension. He claims this will be a benefit for his next significant other, as, quote, their loss can be your gain.
Hello, I'm Giosaki Giancarlo, but friends call me Gio. My ideal date would be at a dinner table, bottle of wine and a single candle. The aroma of my mom's delicious gravy recipe fills the room, cooked to perfection. And how do I know it's cooked to perfection, you may ask? Well, that's because it's being cooked by the recipe's creator, my mom, who would prepare our 2-course dinner before tucking us in for bed. Together, where we can quietly make sweet love. Emphasis on quietly, though. Mama's a light sleeper and she wants lights out by 10. Anyways, drop me a line and I'll change your life for the better. Don't want to sleep with me? It's fine. Hope you like sleeping with the fishes, though.
Once known as the most dangerous sock in Russia for his scent alone, our next inmate, in search of a match, Yarmir Sokov, was caught for espionage, although it turned out he was not a spy, just a confused factory worker with a limited grasp of the English language. He is currently sentenced to 21 years for rigging a game of Russian roulette with his now deceased ex-wife, although he claims his heart is now ready for a mate. Someone that can take a punch and doesn't mind eating rocks for dinner or arm wrestling grizzly bears when money is low. He has a soft spot for his cat, Petunia.
Hi, I am Yarmir Sokov. I like dogs and torture. Not together though. Call me or I will break you. Yes, you. Bye. See you soon.
Our next imprisoned love seeker is Chadwick Sockney III, a first-time offender that finds himself currently serving 3 years for driving under the influence and kidnapping, in addition to violating a restraining order. The offenses all took place in a single drunken night, in which he was determined to rekindle the relationship with his then-separated ex-wife by driving to her new boyfriend's house, slashing his tires, and berating him by yelling obscenities through the second-story window, before kidnapping his own daughter by luring her out with the promise of, quote, living at Disneyland with unlimited free candy. Now that his ex-wife is out of the picture and in witness protection, Chadwick is ready to give love a second chance.
Attention, ladies. Whatever you do, don't date these men. Most of them are violently psychotic, and the rest are con artists. Why are you here anyway? Have things gotten so bad in your life that no halfway normal men that have freedom won't give you the time of day anymore? Even so, no matter how bad your life is right now, have you asked yourself, would bringing someone in convicted of armed robbery that counterfeits passports, sex traffics innocent women, or slaps their wives for having opinions make it better? No! So get your shit together. If you can't date people in your own communities without extensive rap sheets or the high possibility of being schizophrenic, maybe you shouldn't be dating at this moment. And I like long walks on the beach and Rocky Road ice cream. Ahem. Looks like it's time to hit the showers again, Sockney. Nah, it's okay. I took a shower this morning. Well, you must have been a dirty boy. It looks like you need another one. You know, the special shower. The one with the soapy floor. Oh, not again. I hate the special shower. Then maybe you should have thought of that before you tried confusing these high-quality, independent women on the quality of the fine gentlemen currently residing in this establishment. How dare you give out such misleading, incorrect information? The women of our dreams could have decided not to reply, and we'll be left to keep committing crimes instead of finding a gullible target to leech money from to support our drinking, drug, and gambling habits without robbing any more liquor stores. Oh yeah. Well, anyway, can't wait to meet you and sock your world. Goodbye, ladies. That's right, Sockney. Turn on the cold water. You're gonna need
Nothing like love to get the juices going. I wish I had women. Turns out they don't like it when you still live in the drawer with your mother, no matter how many serums and potions you invent. Go figure. And for the day's last segment, we look to two of our network's biggest hosts, lead anchor Nylon Dylon and his cohort, the man himself, the Darkitect, as they present our network's ANN News broadcast. This edition was recorded back in mid-January, but now that the network is live, you can catch ANN episodes every week here at our YouTube channel and on our Twitch channel. On this episode, we cover the California wildfires, poop statues, and a slew of lesser-known strange news stories that may or may not have made headlines. Enjoy!
Original cute body make a man mad on your club. And you don't need no makeup. Original cute body make a man mad. Woman physically fit, physically fit, physically fit. Woman physically fit, physically fit. Woman nice, sweet, fantastic. Big body ocean at the big Titanic woman and ice.
It's 2025, and as you are likely aware, the news stories have been stacking up, man. We got an orange dude about to take the Oval Office. Wars everywhere. Freak-offs. Kid diddling. Epic rap battles. Drones. UFOs. AI. Something called an Elon Musk. Is that a clone or something? Assassination attempts. Even successful assassinations. We saw a little bit of everything in 2024, which is sure to make 2025 a barn burner. The world's gone mental, and here at ANN, we are geared up and ready to be your guide through it all and bring you the stories of America's demise as they happen. I mean, Darkitect, where do we even start?
I don't know, man. Why don't we talk about some of that stuff that happened in 2024? Sounds pretty exciting.
You're right indeed, man. And just to give viewers a recap of what's happened in the news in 2024, we've prepared this recap video to bring everyone up to date on the cultural, mental, physical, and moral carnage of the truly trash year that was 2024 before we jump into our news of the day. What you say, partner?
Let's go drop it.
Wow. It looks like 2024 was truly a bomber-clot year. But hey, if you're still breathing, gotta file that in the W category, yeah? Also, that means you're around to experience 2025, the year that will forever live in history as the year pioneer Nylon Dylon started the Asockalypse News Network and changed the face of journalism forever. To a sock. Since the news has been saturated with headlines on all the big stories, the election, global unrest, conflict, aliens, etc., we figured we'd kick off our coverage with some news stories from 2024 that were more out of the ordinary. Kind of like getting news from a sock. As we figured, like a good sock, it's just more fitting. Also, since 2024 had no lack of big news stories and controversy, chances are a lot of you never even heard these stories as they were lost in a quagmire. For instance, as we approach another anniversary of the Capitol insurrection on January 6th, did you know in October of 2024, some mysterious yet talented sculptors with some interesting political leanings created an unusual bronze sculpture which appeared on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. This masterpiece included a replica of former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's desk, topped with her nameplate, post-it notes, and various office supplies, and a perfectly swirled pile of poop, much like that left back on that fateful day in 2021, when an unemployed sociopath dressed like a Viking broke into the nation's capital backed by an angry mob and took a hot steaming dump on Miss Pelosi's desk. So really, isn't the artist just a historian? Listen, whatever you do, Washington, don't take these statues down before you get the rest of those Confederate slave owners. That would definitely hurt your numbers with the black and non-racist demographic come midterms. Plus, what is more funny than a pile of shit outside a capitol full of other piles of shit? At least the sculpture is bronze and can't make policy, unlike the other piles inside the building that have managed to cram into blazers and pantsuits and find new ways to make money off the backs of the American people. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is amongst the most egregious. She appears to be quite a savvy insider stock trader, with an annual salary of just over $220,000 and an estimated net worth of $252.6 million. This snake in the grass career politician has made a killing financially, bleeding the stock market into her own pockets based off her involvement in policy making to inform her trading activity, which she eventually leveraged into substantial holdings in companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and more. I mean, at her House Speaker salary, it would have taken only about 1,000 years to make that $220,000 salary, which is in the top 10% of global income class, to amass $252 million. It just makes sense that through hard work, manipulation, market research, and just dumb luck, she would be able to hit that number 990 years sooner and enjoy the fruits of her labor. Thus far, more than 1,500 people have been charged in connection with the events of January 6, 2021. Amongst them, of course, appears to have been Francis Connor, the Brooklyn resident who admitted in the days following the insurrection to pooping on Pelosi's desk and was sentenced in September 2022 to 12 months in prison. The same group responsible for the desk poop also graced DC with another sculpture, a tiki torch held by an outstretched hand, which the artist aptly named the Donald Trump Enduring Flame. Unfortunately, these fully permitted and highly hilarious works of art were taken down promptly just days after the election, so you can't take a vacation to DC to get family pictures with these works of historical Americana. But I guess it's great to see that some things in America can happen swiftly. Maybe there are a few other things which could use the same steadfast work ethic and results. There's one thing I can think of. It rhymes with dress rehearsal stealth care. In other strange news, two men wandering the wilderness of Washington state looking for none other than Bigfoot himself, the Sasquatch, were found dead in the forest after a 3-day search. Authorities say the cause of death was exposure. Sure, exposure to the lie that Bigfoot is a real thing, worth risking your life or even a minute of your time. Oh well, I guess the silver lining is that both these two knuckleheads and Bigfoot can now spend forever together in the obscurity of non-existence. So maybe they did find Bigfoot after all, eh? And another story in California. More stupidity as a group of 4 Los Angeles head injury survivors devised a genius plan they affectionately coined Operation Bear Claw to scam their insurance companies for settlements by claiming their cars were randomly destroyed by a rampaging bear seen recently roaming the area. However, when authorities were able to find footage of the angry bear's destructive rampage, they were boggled to find what they easily determined to be a man in a bear suit, gaining entry to these vehicles and using household meat knives, roughly in the shape of claws, brought along to destroy the vehicle's interior, which the owners would subsequently claim on their insurance to receive a compensation. Now, am I angry that people got fed up with these greedy insurance companies and wanted to find a way to get some of that money back? After years of premiums, buy another car, take a vacation? No. I understand the urge to splurge and sip Mai Tais on the beach. But to be so dumb that you think this dollar store bear costume is going to fool authorities, your insurance company, or even a discerning small child, is absolute lunacy. Once authorities realized the stories of the angry car-thrashing bear were greatly exaggerated, to say the least, the 4 were promptly arrested and have since been charged with multiple charges, such as insurance fraud and conspiracy, according to an announcement made by the California Department of Insurance. Their alleged scam cost 3 insurance companies a total of $141,000. Who's closer to the streets than your feet, brother? We all been thinking, no way 2025 could get worse, right? Well, it's off to a rough start. LA has already been transformed into a hellscape of fire and brimstone, with thousands of people losing their homes and businesses. Today on our weekly special segment, Nylon Babylon, we feature one of the many heroes responsible for the lack of resources and manpower that have hindered efforts to fight the infernal flames that continue to blaze the path of destruction through the city we call home. Today, we're talking about Karen Bass, the mayor of the Los Angeles city, and how she mashed up her chances with the people. But wait, me co-host Architect, dip on the scene. Then dropping beats and truths. Architect, you ready for this one? Fast forward to January 2025, the big Palisades fire blazed through LA like a dance hall anthem. Loud, uncontrollable, and destructive. The flames take 2,300 acres, 8,000 homes, 24 human lives, and countless unsuspecting innocent socks. And burn up the people's house like it was a roasted plantain. It's no laughing matter, brethren. The fires left the families without a roof over their heads, destroyed priceless family heirlooms, antiques, and historical buildings, and some of the people even have no rum to drink. While there's enough things to chat about when it comes to the highly criticized response, or lack thereof, of the big Babylon officials up in the local and state government, like the governor himself, Gavin Newsom. Today we zoom in upon one very special local leader, a true pioneer, me say, in the fine arts of deceit, mismanagement, and good old-fashioned blowhard American ineptitude. And before you start winding up your waistline, let me warn you, this might be one bass that cleared the dance floor. Why? Cause the people them just get alerts say them house pon the fire, and the mayor, she chilling in Ghana. So Karen Bass, who this be? Karen Bass, me say, the current mayor of LA, yeah? Before that, she was in Congress, repping the 37th district. Big thing, yeah? Plus, she lead the Congressional Black Caucus. When she run for mayor, she promised the people them, me not travel abroad, me stay here, fix up the city, deal with people's struggles. I guess she take the people for fool. And with a name like Bass, you think she'd rep the name with a proper performance, make that dance floor hot. But instead, when it gets hot for real, and she be weaving a web of lies enough to make Peter Parker scratch his head, like DJ Craze pon the hot wax.
So check this. Bass took $17.6 million straight out of the fire department's budget. That's like pulling a fuse from the breaker box right before a storm, bro. Fire Chief Kristen Crowley tried to warn Bass 2 months back. She said publicly that the budget cuts proposed by Bass were going to hurt overall readiness of first responders, specifically firefighters in LA. Quote, the reduction has severely limited the department's capacity to prepare for, train for, respond to large-scale emergencies and/or wildfires.
Me say January 2025, the Palisades fire burned through over 23,000 acres, left 24 people gone too soon, and flattened the homes like them made from card paper. Serious thing. But here it is. When the fire raged, Karen Bass, she not there. The mayor was sitting pretty in Ghana, attending the inauguration of a president over there.
That's right, my guy. She promised, I won't leave LA while I'm in office. Then boom, she's across the Atlantic while homes in LA are going up in flames. That's like promising to DJ the set, then leaving halfway through the track. Nah, man, that's disrespectful.
When the hydrants run dry and the firefighters had no backup, me say the people them fought fume harder than the fire itself. Rick Caruso, the billionaire whose daughter house burned flat, call her out big time. Him say, Mayor Bass, useless.
You know, Rick, on Tuesday night, you made news, of course, when you joined us. This was night number 1 of the fire, and you didn't mince words. You were very blunt about the issue of lack of water in the fire hydrants. Since then, there have been many different takes on that. We've heard that this was an issue. This is not all up to the fire hydrants. They ran out of water in the firefight, and this should have been attacked from the air. We didn't have the capability to do that. The vice president in the briefing we just heard now just said that the fire hydrants are meant for individual house fires, not for wildfires spreading like this. What's your response to all that you've heard?
I think that career politicians have making excuses down to a fine art, and you see it rolling out and trying to explain why there wasn't water. Nobody wants to give an excuse why they lost their home, why they lost their business. The reality is they were not prepared enough. The reality is we all got the warnings of disastrous, catastrophic winds that could kill people that were issued, and thankfully they were. And the preparation just wasn't right. It wasn't enough. And you talk to the firefighters, they were so frustrated because they didn't have the water pressure they needed. They didn't have the water that they needed. They're standing with dry hoses. And this malarkey about fire hydrants are intended for homes and not for wildfires like this. My God, what an excuse to make. And this is a region that has a history of fires. We had a fire in Malibu 3 or 4 weeks ago. So it wasn't breaking news that there may be a fire here. And because of the negligence of our government leaders and our government officials, we have the Santa Monica Mountains. The density of that brush was fuel just waiting to explode. And that's when it did. And then on top of the high winds, you just had everything come together. Could it have been prevented? Probably not. Could it have been mitigated? There's no doubt in my mind. Absolutely no doubt in my mind.
Bro, back to Karen Bass, the wackest bass line ever. Let me tell you, she comes back to LA, and some British reporter had questions for the jet-setting mayor, and it produces this gem of an interview that we're about to watch. I coined it personally, when a bass is silent, it's deafening. Enjoy, courtesy of AP.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
Hold on 1 second.
Madam Mayor, just a few words for the citizens today as you return to deal with the catastrophe.
Now that's what I call leadership. Just like those CDs that came out back in the day, now that's what I call music, is music. Not even a sorry, my bad, no apology. She just froze up like somebody was just buffering her on bad Wi-Fi. People caught that video and it went viral, my dude. Everybody's been pretty angry about it.
Now the people vex. Over 100,000 signatures demanding she step down. The message clear. We need a mayor who stick around when the Babylon burn. Karen Bass, she lose the trust.
Real talk, Dylon. My parents taught me about opportunity, responsibility, just the basic things that a lot of parents try to instill in their kids for a good life. And Karen Bass, she forgot one of the most important fundamentals. Handle your business. You know, you can't be out in Ghana while your house is on fire. It's a big no.
Bass, me sister, the people not trust empty promises no more. If you can't keep your word, Babylon will burn out the lies. Architect, one last word?
Yo, leadership is about showing up, putting in the work, and having your people's back. If you can't do that, you don't deserve the job. Simple as that. Time to hang up the baselines and hit the bread lines and help these people out that are displaced right now, because you definitely didn't help them out while their homes were burning. Maybe you can show you're worth something by actually working in the affected communities to help rebuild, offer goods, services, shelter, food, clothing for the people in need in the meantime. Oops. Sorry, I'm just talking out my bass. All we really expect is more of the same inaction and broken promises that led us to this point in the first place. We know that we have to watch our own basses now and form families and communities and ways that we can take care of ourselves when the government's not necessarily going to look out for the best interest. But I have to say, in all of this that has happened, maybe we should start thinking about these high exorbitant taxes that we have to pay. I mean, 18%. This whole situation has left me with a where the fuck is that money going kind of taste in my mouth.
Straight truth from the architect. One love, one heart, me people. Stick with Nylon Babylon here on Asockalypse News Network for the real talk and the real vibes. For me, one brethren, the architect himself, I been Nylon Dylon. Till next time, me gone. Peace.
So as we wind down, we present you with one final presentation. Bit of a bonus extra credit. Full interview with the network's creator and architect, the Darkitect. This is one of the first ever recorded episodes of Asockalypse Now, and offers some insight into the madman who created this nonsense, in addition to a bit more background on one of our biggest personalities, Nylon Dylon. Check it out.
Yes. It's the sock on the clock with the tick-tock. When it comes to rhythm, man, I got it on lock. Say it one time. Nylon, the roughest. MC, that's the toughest. Muscles like the buffest. A selector. Nylon Dylon show. Boom, what up, brethren? It's your number one selector, DJ extraordinaire, rocking the socket to your rhythm that gets all the ladies boobity moving. The man like Nylon Dylon. And today, we bring you a very special interview, yeah? From the LA area drum and bass producer, Dark E. Tet, who has been making weird sounds in his above-ground basement studio that landed him firmly on my interview calendar. Let's check it out now. Hello. So, who are you?
I'm Pat, Architect.
Ah, so you are the one they call Darky Tet, right?
Well, it's Darkitect, but yes, I am him.
Nice one. So why you call yourself Darky Tet? Is it because the color of your skin? Because that could be self-imposed oppression, my brother.
Nope, that's definitely not the reason.
How many Grammys you won?
Grammys? Haven't won any Grammys.
Oh yeah, I saw that Taylor Swift ended up winning. Either way, big up on the nomination. You'll get him next time.
I wasn't even nominated. Didn't expect to be.
Oh, so you ended up winning a Grammy after all? Or did you wait for Taylor outside the theater, stick her up and say, "Why don't you come off that Grammy, sweetheart?"
That's also not something that happened.
Okay. I see your Grammy situation is a bit complicated.
Not really.
So let's move on. Tell me more about the kind of music you make, man.
Well, I was into rock and hip-hop as a kid, and I played in punk and ska bands. But when I graduated high school, I went to a Diesel Boy show at this old rave venue in LA called Qtopia, I think it was called. And that's where I really fell in love with drum and bass jungle music.
Ah, so you fancy yourself a junglist, yeah? You got a Grammy for doing jungle? Big up!
Nope, I did not get any Grammys.
Tell us about your upbringing. Where are you from?
Well, my dad's Canadian and my mom's from Detroit. Different countries, but only about a 15-minute drive from one another. And they met each other at a pool party in Detroit. So I have dual citizenship because my dad's Canadian and that's where we lived until I was about 6 years old. And at that time I moved to Long Beach, California. I've more or less called Southern California home since then. Most of my formative years spent in Long Beach though.
Oh, Irie. So like Long Beach, like Snoopy Dogg Long Beach? Bow wow wow?
Sure, same place.
For shizzle my nizzle. That's what Snoopy says, right? Just want to make you feel at home.
Nice. I do feel right at home.
So since you're so successful with your jungle music, what fancy cars have you bought? Where's your mansion located?
Don't have a mansion either. Did you do any research for this interview or?
Research? Nah, man. If you search right the first time, you don't have to research.
That's one way to look at it. Not the right way, but...
So since some of our viewers may not be familiar with your work, what are some popular songs or projects you've worked on that we, or they would know?
Well, for starters, I created this very show. So, there's that.
Oh, okay. Right.
But I've also released 4 full-length albums and a bunch of EPs, LPs, and singles, the bulk of which were created in the last 4 or 5 years. But I've been producing music as a hobby since like 2008. And also I promoted and organized a lot of events throughout the Southern California and LA area, including starting Hidden Jungle, which is the underground drum and bass after hours event, and Drum Slinger, which is a pop-up drum and bass electronic music showcase where we actually showcased like new and upcoming DJs and producers to help showcase their skills and improve.
Nice one. So going back to what you said before, if you created this show, do you know who my dad is?
Maybe.
Do you wear socks?
Yes.
Where?
On my feet?
Oh, on your stinky feet. You just put my kind on your feet and step on us all day. Who do you think you are?
Just a guy.
Well, now that the people know of your atrocities, what do you have to say for yourself? How does it feel to tread upon my people every day of your life?
You want my honest answer?
Yes.
Feels comfortable.
Glad to see our suffering can bring you such comforts. I bet you'd wear my twin brother on your feet if you could, right?
Yes, but I lost him in the washing machine, so...
You lost him? Or he escaped your oppression? So, since you're into drum and bass, have you played any big shows with any acts people may know of?
Yes, I played with some legendary UK artists. I opened for Mompy Swift, Dillinger, Command Strange, Bachelors of Science, DJ Nookie, to name a few.
Ah, Dillinger. Surprised the founder of Val Sound would play alongside such an oppressor.
Well, yeah, he did. And you're not gonna like this, but he was also wearing socks.
Well, Pixar, it didn't happen. I don't believe you.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
You're like an animal, man. I mean, wearing us on your feet.
Yep. We're gonna have to get past that somehow.
So if you created the show, that means you can make me say anything, right?
If I really want to.
Okay, prove it then. Make me say, I love to smell my own farts. I love to smell my own farts. Hey, stop that! I don't smell my own farts.
Well, you said it.
How do you please a woman sexually?
Well, for starters, be somebody other than you.
Well, that's a bit hurtful, but continue.
You know what? On second thought, no. I think the way you please a woman is by leaving the room.
And there's another dagger. But seriously, I'm told there's a button or something you're supposed to press for a high score down there or something.
You were manufactured in 2017, so you're a little young for the birds and socks talk.
If it's dumb, isn't it all your fault? Sorry, I wasn't ready for an existential crisis this morning.
So we're done talking? It's an interesting interview.
If it's dumb, isn't it all your fault, man? Sorry, I wasn't ready for an existential crisis this afternoon. I haven't even smoked my 2 joints in the morning yet.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, bud.
Yes, bud. You got some ganja on you, brother? Let me get a dime bag.
No.
Like, no, you don't have it on you, or no, you won't break your brother off with a dime set?
Just no.
Cool. Cool, cool. Do you have any songs that are actually good that we can hear that won't send our listeners into a downward spiral like your career? Or do you suck at everything you do?
I actually like my music now. It took me a while to produce music that I'm kind of sort of proud of. And after the lockdowns and everything, I was really able to focus in on my music, my technique, and becoming a better producer. And now I just feel like I'm finally able to get my ideas into reality musically on a much more regular basis. And it's caused me, or it's helped me to fall back in love with producing again. And I'm obsessed with just perfecting my craft and, you know, creating sounds because that's my passion. I really love doing it.
Righteous man. Where can people find your so-called music?
Check out drumslinger.com, or better yet, visit my link tree. You're going to see it on the bottom here for links to my music, upcoming shows, and more.
And speaking of music, here's a sneak peek at an upcoming EP from Blackatect himself. I'm sorry, Darkatect. This is gonna be out mid-April on Drumslinger Recordings. Enjoy it, brethren.
Can I leave now? Yeah, that was horrible stuff, man. Are you on the Spectrum?
Like the cable company? Nah, we only have Comcast in this zip code. Why, you having problems with the Wi-Fi?
Oh, hi, you're back. Well, now is the dreaded hour where we have to say goodbye and bid you a good night. We hope you will continue to join and support us on this journey as we plan to release content weekly right here at our YouTube and Twitch channels listed on the bottom of the screen. All we ask in return is that you please like, follow, and subscribe to our channel so we can grow and do more shows and get people to actually do interviews with us. I mean, we are Socks after all. We want the content to keep getting better and better. So for now, stay tuned each Tuesday for the latest ANN episodes and more. We will follow the human rise or demise wherever it takes us. I mean, we are shoved in your shoes after all. So in summation, we thank you for accompanying us on this journey. And I hope to see you again real soon in the Asockalypse Now universe. Till next time, friends, Dr. Forsock, signing off.
In the past, it was Asockalypse then. We kicked some ass for an Asockalypse win. Cruising a fly sock whip with an Asockalypse grin. Strap in, it's time to dip, let the Asockalypse begin.